Cal. How are y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Good, and you can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we can hear you. You can hear us?
Good, okay.
Okay.
All right, and can I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Afi Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
You shall follow the Office of Public Defender.
Mr. Wynn, are you here on Ruiz Ortiz? Okay. We'll go ahead and do that one after the move up. I think that's an out-of-county case, isn't it? Ruiz Ortiz, I thought it was out-of-county.
It's on the add-on docket. It's like the first one on the add-on docket.
Okay. All right. And then this is Spanish, so 1 second. Oh, okay. I just have to call the interpreter.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Alan Figueroa, certified Spanish Code interpreter.
Good morning, Mr. Figueroa. Have you been sworn?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and call the first case then. Sir, good morning. Tell me your name, please.
Otero.
Raymond Otero.
This is 20 CF 5418. Sir, you were arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement and battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness present for Mr. Otero?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Otero, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You're to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. Sir, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Sí, porque yo tengo un hijo y quisiera ver cómo podría verlo cuando, si me da permiso.
Yes, I have a child, and I would like to know if I will be able to see him, if I will have permission for that.
No, sir, the no contact order does pertain to the child. You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion to have that modified.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, sir, and then I will allow you to return to the house one time with the police to get your
Yana.
things if needed.
The victim just showed up.
Okay. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Does she need an interpreter?
All right. Mr. Interpreter, could you interpret over the speaker? I believe the witness needs your assistance as well.
Sure thing, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That's not my
That's not my wife.
He said that's not his wife.
That's the him at the vote podium?
That's his one. Okay. No, Your Honor.
Oh,
It's the,
okay. All right. I guess that was not the correct victim, Mr. Figueroa, so you can continue to interpret over the headset.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. I told you you could go back with the police one time to get your things if needed. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
mm-hmm. PTO.
Good morning. Your name, please?
Pedro Antonio Mercado.
Mr. Mercado, this is 20MM3231. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And there's a witness there for Mr. Mercado?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Does she need a Spanish interpreter, Your Honor?
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yes, she does.
Okay. Señora, ¿me escucha?
Sí, señor, lo escucho, dígame.
She can hear me, Your Honor.
Great. Ma'am, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Levanta la mano derecha, por favor, para prestar juramento.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad? ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Sí,
Yes.
Ma'am, please tell me your name.
Dígame su nombre, por favor.
María Evangelina Villeda Troches.
María Angelina Villeda Troche.
Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Mercado?
Señora, ¿desea tener contacto con el señor Mercado?
Sí,
Yes.
Do you live with Mr. Mercado?
¿Usted vive con el señor Mercado?
sí,
Yes.
Do you want to continue living together?
¿Desea seguir viviendo con él?
sí,
Yes.
And you have 3 children?
¿Y tienen 3 hijos?
sí.
Yes.
Do you have any concerns about their safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
¿Usted tendría algún problema o alguna preocupación con respecto a su seguridad si yo les permito tener contacto el uno con el otro?
No, yo no tengo temor.
No, I don't have any fear.
All right, ma'am. At this time, Mr. Mercado, I'm going to order that you are not to have any hostile contact.
Bien, señores, el Mercado en este momento se le prohíbe el contacto hostil con la víctima.
Do you understand what that means?
¿Entiende lo que eso significa, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma.
I'm going to place you on pretrial release,
Se le concederá la libertad provisional.
and you do have an immigration hold that I need to inform you of as well.
Y tiene también una orden de retención de parte de inmigración.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Dígame su nombre, señor, por favor. Joel Velasquez.
All right. Is there a witness present for Mr. Velasquez?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
There is. Okay. Does the witness need the services of the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is 20MM 3226. Mr. Velasquez, you were arrested for battery domestic violence.
Señor Velázquez fue arrestado por violencia doméstica, agresión física.
There is probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad y se le designará defensor público para que lo represente.
You also have 20MM 3225.
También está en el caso 20mm 3225.
You were arrested for battery domestic violence as well.
También por violencia doméstica, agresión física.
Is there only one victim present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am, could you come forward, please?
Acérquese, señora, por favor.
Ya estoy aquí.
I'm here.
Great. Okay, ma'am, please raise your right hand to be sworn in.
Levante la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad? ¿Lo jura ante Dios?
Sí,
Yes.
Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Dígame su nombre, señora.
Juanita Betsaida Ramírez Gabriel.
Juanita Betsaida Ramírez Gabriel.
Ma'am, do you want to have contact with Mr. Velasquez?
Señora, ¿desea tener contacto con el señor Velázquez?
Sí, por favor.
Yes, please.
Are you afraid of him?
¿Siente usted temor de él?
No,
No.
Do you have children together?
¿Tienen hijos en común?
sí, tenemos 3 niñas.
Yes, we have 3 girls.
All right. Do you have any concerns about your daughter's safety if I were to allow contact between the two of you?
¿Tiene usted alguna preocupación con respecto a la seguridad de las niñas si yo permito el contacto entre ustedes?
Para nada, no tengo ninguna preocupación.
Not at all. I don't have any worries.
All right, ma'am. Mr. Velasquez, I am going to order you not to have any hostile contact with your wife. Do you understand what that means?
Señor Velázquez, se le prohíbe el contacto con hostilidad hacia su esposa. ¿Sabe lo que eso significa? Yes.
All right. You are also not to possess any weapons or firearms.
También se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma.
Okay.
That is with respect to 20 mm 3226.
Eso es con respecto al caso 20mm 3226.
And on 20 mm 3225, sir, you're not to have any contact with the victim.
Y en el caso 20mm 3225 se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima,
You're to maintain a separate residence.
de buscarse otro paradero.
You are not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de ningún tipo de arma.
On both cases, I'm going to add the condition that you are not to possess or consume any alcohol.
En ambos casos se añadirá la ley o la regla de que no puede consumir o tener ningún tipo de bebida alcohólica.
Está bien.
Okay.
I am going to place you on pretrial release on both cases.
Se le concederá la libertad provisional en ambos casos,
And you do have an immigration hold, sir.
pero sí tiene también una orden de retención de parte de inmigración.
Okay, está bien, muchísimas gracias.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Velasquez. Do you have any questions?
Gracias, señor Velázquez. ¿Tiene usted alguna duda o pregunta?
Mi pregunta es que yo tengo órdenes de alejamiento.
Am-
Ellos mi mujer ya no trabaja y yo corro los gastos de la renta, la comida, ella se dedica a mis niños.
My question is, why is there a no contact rule in between my wife and my daughters? If I'm the one that pays all the bills in the house, including the food and everything that's needed, I'm the only one that works.
There's not. There's one with, I believe it's your sister-in-law is the other victim.
No, señor, la orden de prohibición de contacto es con su cuñada. El otro caso.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Henry Ayuso. Henry Ayuso.
Henry Ayuso.
This is case number 20MM3243. You were arrested for possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Hey, do you have an offer or an announcement on this case?
Somebody, I don't have it.
Sure. 20MM3243.
At this point, Your Honor, state will announce a null pros.
Okay. You're going to be released, Mr. Ayusu. The state's not going to proceed with prosecution on this case.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think there's only one other Spanish case. Mr. Ruiz Ortiz, you said was Spanish? Okay, let me find that case before we get to the move up. Who's in front of me now?
Hola. State your name.
Mohammed.
Okay. Officer Williams, could we pull Mr. Ruiz Ortiz? He's the first one on the add-on docket because he's Spanish. You're Mohammed Eula?
Yes.
Mr. Figueroa, if you could just hang with me for just a second, they're going to pull the final Spanish case.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Eula, this is 20MM3241. You were arrested for possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Eula?
withhold credit for time served.
All right. Mr. Eula, did you want to enter a plea to your case this morning?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What are you unsure of?
I'm not sure what that means.
Okay. Mr. Eula, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time. You're going to be given a court date when you leave the jail. You'll need to make sure that you appear at that court date and contact your lawyer within 24 hours of your release from the jail, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And are you Mr. Ruiz Ortiz?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Wynn, do you want to come forward? All right, so it's my understanding that we're here this morning on 20 CT 480, which is a plea to an Orange County case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct? And then Mr. Ruiz also had an out-of-county hold?
Yeah, County. It was Lake County, number 19-00080-A.
Okay.
Both of those will be, one's going to be to admission of violation of probation and plea, change of plea. That's the Orange County case is going to be the change of plea.
Okay, so the Lake County case is going to be admit, right?
Your Honor.
Revoke and terminate,
Revoke and terminate 10 days credit times.
and then whatever court costs. Well, I don't think there would be court costs on that. It would just be whatever costs he had prior.
I think they wanted to make sure.
If the state is talking, we can't hear him.
It's Mr. Ruiz's lawyer. Mr. Wynn, can you pull the microphone closer?
Okay.
you go.
Yeah, the cost would be just the outstanding cost of probation.
Okay. All right. Mr. Ruiz Ortiz, did you have an opportunity to review the plea forms?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No.
No.
And at this time, as to the Lake County case, you would like to admit that you violated your probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I will accept your admittance, revoke and terminate your probation, sentence you to 10 days in jail with credit for 10 days time served, and then you will be required to pay any outstanding probation costs in Lake County. And then in 20 CT 480, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty. How many days does Mr. Ruiz Ortiz have on this case?
Tengo
107?
3 meses, como 12 días.
All right, Mr. Ortiz, I'm going to sentence you to 107 days in jail. You've got credit for 107 days time served. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by May 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor, would you like me to approach the plea?
Sure.
Thank you.
Make sure those are the sign. That's it. Excused.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Mr. Wynn.
Okay.
And Mr. Figueroa, that's all the Spanish cases. Thank you so much for your help.
Not a problem, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
I'm Mary.
What? Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Yes, I'm Valencia Fortezer.
Thank you, Ms. Desir. You are here in 20 CF 846. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and false imprisonment. There is probable cause I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to return. Actually, this is just a bond endorsement.
That's not what I'm here for.
So this is Ms. Desir. I want to say Desir. So it looks like the bondsman came off your bond. April 20th. I'm going to reset the bond amount at $3,500 on count 1 and $150 on count 2. You were arrested in 20 MM 3173 for trespassing. There is probable cause, ma'am.
She was IE on the 2nd for the trespassing. I think she's just here to address the fast that she has.
I'm not. Valencia Fort.
Was it just for the battery, the aggravated battery, the bond endorsement? Is that the only FAD or the other 2 misdemeanor cases?
She has 3 FADs, 2020 CF 000-84680, 2020 MM 00268480, and 2019 MM 00955780. And then the 846.
Right, but it looks like the paperwork that I have, it appears that the bondsman has endorsed the bond.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, they also placed it as a FAT before the bondsman endorsed the bond.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So just reset bond, $3,500 on count 1, $150 on count 2. No contact with the victim, no weapons.
That's on 846.
Correct.
The state filed for ag bat, a bat, and a trespass.
Okay. The bonds would be the same.
So count 3, what would the bond be?
It would be ROR.
ROR.
And then she was only, I guess I'm confused. What was she I-8 on? On the 20 MM 3173?
Yes, on the 2nd.
I don't see that it was done. The order that I have just says reset.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, she's reset for that one as well. And I guess they added the FATs as well.
Okay. Well, there's probable cause she's not to return to the scene. Bond is $500. I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond trespass cases. Thank you, Ms. Desir. Thank you, Courtney.
Your Honor, the next person on the docket, Stephen Hadden, refused.
And then she was reporting that. And it was the just this one. 847. I just reset the bonds on the yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Hadden is not coming.
No, ma'am, he's not coming. He refused.
All right. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Hadden's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court and appoint the public defender to represent him. In 20 MM 3183, I'm going to release him on his own recognizance. He's not to return to the scene. And I'm not going to take any action on his out on bond case.
And then the next person, also Maria Ruda, she refused also.
All right, and that's 20 MM 3203. I'm going to find a waiver based upon the refusal to come to court, appoint the public defender, find probable cause for the trespass. She's not to return to McDonald's, and I'm going to release her on her own recognizance at this time. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Richard Ellington.
Mr. Ellington, sir, you are here in 17 CF 3732. It's for a violation of probation, sir. It is alleged that you have failed to pay your, or you failed to report to probation. You have failed to pay the state of Florida your cost of supervision. You're $200 behind. You moved without getting permission, and you have failed to make your restitution payments. At this time, your bond is set at none. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir.
This ain't a
Thank you.
place where I can get a bond at. I have to go to the court.
You'll have to have your lawyer file a motion in Division 16.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
My name is Lan Tang Nguyen.
Mr. Nguyen, this is 20MM 755. You are being arraigned on the offense of petty theft. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
You know how much time Mr. Nguyen has then?
8 days.
I'll do an adjudication, credit for time served, no return. I need him to do an online impulse control class though.
Okay.
Within 90 days.
Mr. Nguyen, the offer to resolve your case today is an adjudication of guilt, 8 days in jail with credit for 8 days time served. You're not to return to the scene. You will have to complete an online impulse control class within 90 days and provide proof of completion to the clerk of the court, sir, along with court costs. Did you want to accept the offer?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I read that. Thank you.
Mr. Nguyen, did you read the plea form?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form?
No.
All right, sir. Are you on probation?
No. I don't have no probation, nothing.
Okay. And you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 8 days in jail. You've got credit for 8 days time served. You're not to return to the scene. You will need to complete an online impulse control class within 90 days and provide proof of completion to that to the court. I would reach out to the public defender's office so they can assist you in how you would go about completing that course. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by May 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good morning, your name?
Good morning. My name is Roberto Felix.
How about Mario Daniel? Oh, got it. Mr. Felix. Okay, Mr. Felix, good morning. At this time, per Judge Rexeidler, your bond is to remain at none. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you and to assist in coordinating on your case in Seminole County.
All right.
All right, they'll be able to help you file any motions that you need to file.
When that can take place?
Pardon me?
When this can take place? Like,
I don't know. You'll have to get in touch with their office, and that form that you have there has all the contact information.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Good morning, Hefte Garcia Sanjet.
Tell me your first name again.
Hefte. Jephte, Your Honor.
I have it right here. Yes, sir. At this time, your bond is to remain at none. I'm going to have the public defender here in Orange County appointed to represent you, and they can coordinate with your lawyer in Seminole County on your case, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Brandon Hall.
Mr. Hall, at this time, your bond is also going to remain at none. I will appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you, and they can help coordinate with your attorney in Seminole County on your case, sir.
I have a couple of questions, Your Honor.
Sure.
During this whole process of of my violations through Seminole County, am I to remain here at the Orange County Jail to fight these violations, or am I going to get transported back to Seminole?
That's correct, sir. So at this time, they're not transporting any of the inmates between the jails. So you'll have to stay here in Orange County until either a bond is set, you've resolved your violation of probation case, or transportation resumes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning, your name?
Aquavius Preston.
Mr. Preston, good morning. Your bond is also to remain at none. I will appoint the Orange County Public Defender here to represent you, and they'll be able to help coordinate with your attorney in Seminole County on your case, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Got it. Thank you very much. Are you Mr. Daniel?
No, I'm Sean Henry.
You're Mr. Henry? Okay. He's right after.
Daniel bonded out, Your Honor.
Daniel bonded? Okay, thank you. And you are Mr. Henry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you are being arraigned in 20 MM 3158 for the offenses of trespassing an occupied structure and trespassing a structure. You're represented by the public defender. How would he like to proceed?
The offer is adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, no return.
Mr. Henry, did you?
Sorry, Your Honor, he's on probation.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, I was just informed that you are currently on probation, so you would not be able to accept a plea to these charges today. I'm going to give you a court date. Reassign.
Your Honor, enter a plea of not guilty.
Thank you. This is going to be in front of Judge Dubois. Pretrial conference is July 6th at 10:30 a.m. in courtroom 10B.
Division is that your?
But
82.
I have one for June 1st. A hearing.
I don't know what that hearing's for. It may be on another case,
For,
but this case is set for
VOP.
pretrial.
A pretrial?
Your VOP hearing is in June?
Yes, June 1st.
Okay. So once you figure out the VOP situation, I would get in contact with your lawyer to see what options are available to you on this case. Okay?
So what do I do now?
Speak with your lawyer and wait for your June hearing.
Okay.
Okay?
Good afternoon,
morning,
Your
your
Honor. Terry Deposo Von Kraus.
Mr. Von Kraus, you are here in 20 MM 301. This is your arraignment for the offenses of violation of a domestic injunction, going within 500 feet, in violation of a domestic injunction or contact order. You are represented by the public defender. How would he like to proceed, Ms. Fowler?
Your Honor, he can resolve his case today if the state has an offer.
No offer, correct? Okay. So Mr. Von Kraus is going to plead not guilty. That's a Division 50 case. Pre-trial conference is May 21st at 8:30 a.m. in courtroom 4E. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jason Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, you are here for a child support writ. At this time, you're going to be released on your own recognizance. Your next court date is June 8th at 1:30 p.m. here at the Orange County Courthouse in room 540. You will be given a copy of this order upon your release, so that way you have the information. Mr. Wilson, could you please provide me your most current address?
2515 North Hastings Street, Orlando, Florida 32808.
It's North. Did you say North Hastings Street?
Yes, ma'am.
And then tell me your zip code one more time, please.
Say again?
Tell me your zip code.
32808.
32808. Okay.
What's the court date?
Mr. Wilson, you actually have two writs, so you have two court dates. They are on the same day. They're both on June 8th, and they're back to back. One's at 1:30 and one's at 2.
Okay. Your Honor, he also was served on the third one, I guess this morning. I don't know if you have that paperwork. He might be scheduled to come back tomorrow.
Any chance we can give him a court date? Yeah. I know. I'd rather.
I didn't get served this morning on.
Just it seems.
I didn't get served this morning on.
Did you get served? They got you served. They got you served.
All right. Hold on. And then I'll send this to Jill. 6/8 at 3:30. All right. And this is Mr. Wilson. All right, Mr. Wilson, it appears you have that third writ. So instead of bringing you back tomorrow, I'm just going to give you the court date now.
Okay. But an officer came in and just told me I was here for a writ. I was taking. I thought he was talking about the two that I'm here for, not for a third one.
Right. So Courtney, was he served with the writ?
No, I wasn't
He
given
was
anything.
served this morning, case number 2018 DR 013841.
Would you repeat the case number, Courtney?
Sure. 2018 DR 013841.
013841.
It has an O.
And an O, right. Okay. So you do have 3, Mr. Wilson.
Okay, and that's at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and 3:30?
Well, the first 2 is going to be on June. Oh, they're all on June 8th.
Right.
So they're all on June 8th, but the first one starts at 1:30, and then the second one's at 2, and the third one's at 3. But when I talk to them about the first one, I would just let them know, hey, I've got these other 2, and see if they can take care of it at that time.
And what's the courtroom for those?
5:40. You're going to get a copy of the order
Okay.
when you're released.
Okay.
Even in June? Oh, hold on. Just a second, Mr. Wilson. Yeah, they're just contradictory. Why are we setting, but why are we, this needs to be redone. This doesn't make sense to me. All right. So what's today? The 4th. All right, Mr. Wilson, within the paperwork that you're going to receive, you're going to have the order that tells you the date and time and location of the hearing. There's a second order, though. It's a notice that due to the COVID pandemic, you're not to appear at the courthouse. So there's a phone number that you have to call, and you have to call in for the hearing, and that information is going to be given to you upon your release as well.
Okay.
All right. Just make sure that you read it clearly and follow the instructions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's really confusing. They're all Mr. Wilson's. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Willie Celestin.
Mr. Soliston, sir, you are here in 20 CF 5401. You were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant person. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness there for Mr. Celestin?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to return to the host inn. You are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Okay.
Your bond is going to be set at $2,500.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm not going to take any action on the out on bond cases at this time. And Mr. Celestin, you have reporting requirements when you're released from the jail.
Yes, I know that.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Marcus Eula.
Sir, this is 20 CF 5404. You were arrested for battery by strangulation, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Eula?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things if needed. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Good morning, sir. Your name?
Edgar Razzo.
Mr. Razzo, this is 20 CF 5414. You were arrested for aggravated battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Razzo?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Razzo, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're also not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Can Mr. Razzo be placed on pretrial release, Courtney?
You want to court order him to pretrial? He didn't qualify at that time.
Yeah, I'm going to place him on pretrial release.
Okay.
Mr. Razzo, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Davey Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, this is 20 CF 5392. You were arrested for attempted aggravated battery on a pregnant person. There's probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Thompson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. You're not to have any contact with the victim. Mr. Thompson, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return to the house to get your things if needed. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes, ma'am. But on my defense, it was
No, Mr. Thompson, listen to me. Today's not the day for you to tell me about your defense, okay? That's something you have to talk to your lawyer about. All right? I don't want you to say anything that can be used against you later.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
We live at the same residence, so
Well, you can't live together. You have to find somewhere else to stay.
okay.
Any other questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Barbara Campbell.
Ms. Campbell, you're here in 20 MM 391. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Ms. Campbell?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
I don't. I just wanted to know if he decided that he didn't want to press charges because I was there to pick up my kids. Why is it that there's probable cause? I'm just
Those
confused.
are legal questions that I can't really answer for you, ma'am. You'll have to talk to your lawyer about that, and they can explain the distinctions to you.
Okay. The only question I have about the no contact is I have to get my kids from his house. Do I have the ability to do that at least if I need to be able to, or do they have to stay there until this is over?
Are they his kids?
No, they're my kids, but he watches them for me when I work. So.
Okay. So you can go one time with the police to get anything that you need from the house, okay?
Okay.
All right. Your bond is $500, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Jermaine Desardin, Rivera.
Sir, you were here in 20 MM 3233. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Rivera?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. If you need to return to the house one time with the police to get your things, you may. Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Justin Doss.
Mr. Doss, this is 20 MM 3234. And then is Miss Lopez
She's out in the hallway.
present?
No, Your Honor. She's in the hallway. Oh, she's in the hallway? Yes, sir.
Right. Ana Lopez.
Lopez, Anna Lopez. Come on.
Good morning, Miss Lopez. Do you want to have contact with Mr. Doss?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Doss, you are not to have any contact with Miss Lopez. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. I'm going to place you on pretrial release, sir. Miss Lopez, you were arrested in 20 MM 3235 for battery domestic violence. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to have any contact with Mr. Doss. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms. I will give you both a one-time return with law enforcement to get your things. I don't know who's going to continue to live at the house or not, but you can both go get your things if needed. Mr. Doss, do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yes, Your Honor. Some of the stuff that I have in the residence, it's not, because I don't have another residence to move all that stuff to, including furniture and like a display case and lots of other things. I might have to return more than once to get things. I have no problem with having law enforcement there with me. I might not be able to take everything in one go.
Right. So this return with law enforcement is not for you to move out, is to get like your essential personal items that you may need. Okay. You're going to have to wait to remove any of like the home furnishings and that kind of thing until after the case has been resolved.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Ms. Lopez?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And Your Honor, Ms. Lopez's bond was?
They're both on PTR.
Sorry.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Zachary Fry.
Mr. Fry, you are here in case number 20MM3242, you were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Fry?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fry, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also going to order that you are not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
I guess, well, my car is at the residence that me and my girlfriend share. Am I permitted to go get the car? I have clothes at a friend's house that I could use.
Sure. So you can go back to the house one time with the police to get your belongings.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Good morning. My name is Sylvia Lockwood.
Miss Lockwood, this is 20MM3232. You were arrested for battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Miss Lockwood?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Lockwood, you're not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Can I say I've lived there with my mom for going on 5 years, and I'm the one that's been taking care of her, and I don't have anywhere else to go. My daughter just moved in there, so I take care of my mom. I pay
I
rent
understand,
there.
ma'am. If she's not there, if your daughter is not there, then you're allowed to be at the house. Otherwise, you can't be there, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right. I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. Are you Mr. Morgan?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. This is 20MM3222. You were arrested for battery. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Morgan?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Morgan, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if needed.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right, sir. And I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you Mr. Rogers?
Yes, miss.
Sir, this is 20MM3221. You were arrested for battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness for Mr. Rogers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rogers, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. You may have a one-time return with the police to get your things if needed.
Yes, miss.
Do you have any questions about the no contact order?
Yeah, no, miss. Cause I'm gonna stay away. I've been out since 2005, and I've been doing good, miss, since I've been out prison, and I'm trying to dedicate my life to something else. I just got caught up in the wrong
All
thing.
right, sir. Okay, I'm gonna set your bond at $500. Thank you, sir.
How you doing?
Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Eric Deshaun Bartley.
Mr. Bartley, this is 20 CF 5335. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for sale and delivery of cocaine, within 1,000 feet of a child care facility, and possession of cocaine. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Bond on count 1 is going to be $1,500. Bond on count 2 will be $150. Bond on count 3 will be $150, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Nicholas Blocker, bonded.
Mr. Blotcher bonded, okay. Good morning, sir, your name?
Kadeem Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, you're here in 20 CF 5410. You were arrested for trafficking in cannabis greater than 25 pounds and conspiracy to traffic in cannabis greater than 25 pounds. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to place your bond on count 1 at $5,000. Bond on count 2 is $150 plus pretrial release, sir.
Thank you.
You're also not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Morning, Daniels.
Mr. Daniels, you are here in 20 CT 2843. You were arrested for driving without a valid driver's license. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance at this time as to that case. You need to make sure that you maintain contact with your lawyer and appear at all court dates. You have 20 CF 5407. You were arrested for threatening a public servant and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause for both of those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance as to each of those counts as well, sir. And then you have a writ, a child support writ. Your hearing is June 8th. Did we give the other one 3:30?
Yes.
Okay. It's June 8th at 3 p.m. There will be directions on the order for the child support writ directing you to appear at the Orange County Courthouse in room 540. However, there's a second notice that explains call-in instructions due to the COVID pandemic if the courthouse is not open. So you're going to follow the directions to use the call-in information. Do you understand?
I know what you're saying, yes.
Okay, and it only is related as to the child support case, is the call-in information. It doesn't have anything to do with your criminal offenses. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, all right. Do I have 2 writs or just the one? Just one, okay. All right.
Excuse me.
That's everything, sir.
Did I
Yes.
just hear you say there's 2 writs?
No, I was just checking to make sure there wasn't 2 writs because there was 2 copies of it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I was just talking out loud, just making sure that there was only the one.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. This is mine.
Oh, wait, Mr. Daniels, I just need to verify your address if I could.
Yeah. 426 Talquin Court, Orlando, Florida, 32807.
Hold on. 426 Talquin Court, TALQUIN.
That's my mailing address, yes.
All right, and that's Orlando 32807. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. So, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Does this, am I leaving out of here or?
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, your name?
Jeff and Reese May.
Sir, you were here in 20 CF 5411. You were arrested for trafficking in cannabis and conspiracy to traffic in cannabis greater than 25 grams. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. Bond on count 1 is $5,000. The bond on count 2 is $150 plus pretrial release. Thank you, sir.
What does that mean? Pretrial release.
It means that in addition to having to post the monetary bond, you're also going to have to check in with a pretrial release officer who's going to supervise you in the community while your case is pending.
All right.
Thank you. Do you have another question, sir?
Yes. So if the bond is still the same price?
No, bond on count 1 is $5,000. Bond on count 2 is $150.
So the total, okay, all right.
Why don't you write it down?
Yeah, thank you.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Alvin Jones.
Mr. Jones, this is 20 CF 5402. You were arrested for attempted robbery with a firearm and aggravated assault with a firearm. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Bond on count 1 is going to be $10,000. Bond on count 2 will be $150. Thank you, sir.
You're on the next on the docket, Mitchell Bonded.
Mr. Mitchell bonded. Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Your name?
Good afternoon, Krista Odom.
Ms. Odom, this is 20 CF 5400. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and possession of methamphetamine. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond on count 1 is $3,500. Bond on count 2 is $150. You are not to return to the Parliament House. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms or possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to revoke the bond in 19 CF 15061. That's going to be set at none. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Elsie Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you are here in 19 CF 6990. You failed to appear for trial back in March of this year, sir. At this time, your bond is set at none. Mr. Robinson, I want to let you know who your lawyer is.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a court-appointed lawyer. His name is Gary Lashley. You're going to have Mr. Lashley file a bond motion for you in Division 20 in front of Judge O'Kane. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. You're on the next on the list is South Hall. He bonded.
Okay.
Okay. Step up.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Jonathan Tackett.
Mr. Tackett, you're here in 20 CF 5166. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for burglary of a conveyance, grand theft 3rd degree, and grand theft of a motor vehicle. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to return to the scene or have any contact with the victim. Bond on count 1 is going to be $2,500. Bond on count 2, $150. Bond on count 3, $150. Thank you, sir.
How you doing, ma'am?
Good, sir. Thank you. Are you Mr. Ward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is 20 CF 4229. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for grand theft, 3rd degree. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. You need to stay in contact with your lawyer and appear at all court dates. You're also not to have any contact with the victim.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Johnny West.
Mr. West, you're here in 20 CF 5403. You were arrested for possession of cannabis with intent to sell within 1,000 feet of a park, possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You are not to possess or consume any controlled substances without a valid prescription. I am going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You are also not to return to the George Barker Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Dario Guerrier.
Mr. Greer, this is 20 CT 2849. You were arrested for DUI with damage to property or person of another. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Can I place Mr. Greer on pretrial release at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to place you on pretrial release. You're not to possess or consume any controlled substances or alcohol. And you're not to drive without a valid driver's license. Thank you, sir.
You are not to drive without a valid license?
You are not to drive a car unless you have a valid driver's license.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
How's my driver's license anyway?
Excuse me?
How's my driver's license anyway? My driver's license? Oh, okay.
You need to talk to your lawyer about that, sir, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Stackhouse, bonded.
All right, Stackhouse. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Todd Williams.
Mr. Williams, you are here in case number 20 CT 2841. The driving while license suspended, sir. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. As to that case, sir, you need to appear at all court dates and maintain contact with your lawyer. You're also here on a failure to pay child support writ.
Yes.
You're going to be released on your own recognizance in that matter as well. Your hearing date is going to be June 8th at 2:30 p.m. Attached to the order, sir, is going to be a notice directing you how to call in for your hearing instead of appearing in person. You'll get a copy of both of those orders upon your release, sir. Do you have any questions?
What does release on reconnaissance mean?
It means that you won't have to post any money to get out of the jail, but you have to reappear in court on the designated days.
Okay. All right. Now, the thing about that order, I was trying to pay it last month when I had the money for child support, but I was laid off and I needed the money for my bills. And of course, I'm not able to get the stimulus. So that's kind of what happened.
I understand. So on your designated hearing date time, you're going to call in on June 8th and you'll be able to explain your situation to them at that time.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Williams, could you please verify your address for me?
It's 4764 Walden Circle, Unit 418, Orlando, Florida 32811.
Got it. It's on here. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, next on the list is Wilson, bonded.
Okay.
Step up.
Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Velasquez and Cunningham, ma'am.
Mr. Cunningham, sir, you are here in case number 20MM3230. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Sure.
Can I speak?
Just give me 1 minute, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll do an adjudication, credit for time served, no return to the Walmart.
Mr. Cunningham, do you want to enter a plea to your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
All right. The offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, no return to Walmart. Would you like to accept the offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. At this time, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in jail. You've got credit for 2 days time served. You're not to return to Walmart. You will have to pay court costs, which will be due by May 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prince, Your Honor.
Yes? Did you want to tell me something?
Prints, fingerprints for the last
Yes.
case.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. I couldn't hear you. Thank you. Are you Mr. Pentheny?
No.
What's your name?
Nicholas Martin.
Tiffany Bundy,
How about Alexander Pentheny?
page 8.
He bonded.
Bonded? Okay, good. All right. And you are Mr. Martin, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Martin, you are here for a out-of-county warrant from Hillsborough County related to failing to appear on a no valid driver's license case.
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, your bond, sir, is set at $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
We will be reaching out to Hillsborough County to see if they would like to modify that bond, given the coronavirus and that they're not transporting inmates between the jails. Once we hear back, if you haven't bonded out, once we hear back from them, we'll bring you back to court and let you know what the response was.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. That's it?
Mr. Randall?
Randall Bundy, Your Honor.
Mr. Randall bonded? Okay. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Joseph George Bates Jr.
Mr. Bates, sir, you are here in 20 MM 3198. You were arrested for resisting officer without violence and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Bates?
Adjudication credit for time, sir.
Mr. Bates, do you want to enter a plea to your case this morning?
Would love to go ahead and get this situated so I can get back home to my family and get back to work.
Okay, so the offer from the state is an adjudication of guilt and credit for time served with court costs. Would you like to accept the offer?
That I'd be leaving home today, right?
That's right.
Yes, of course.
All right, Mr. Bates, are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, and you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, this plea will subject you to deportation.
Of course, yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in jail. You've got credit for 3 days time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those will be due by May 4th of 2021, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we done?
You're finished, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Your name?
Sean Gardner.
How about Mr. Matthew or Mr. Byers?
Byers in the hospital. He's in the hospital, Your Honor. You can't talk to her.
Okay.
Look straight at the judge.
Ms. Fowler, I'm going to appoint your office to represent him. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is 20 CF 5391. He was arrested for criminal mischief greater than $1,000. There is probable cause. He's not to have any contact with the victim or return to the scene. Excuse me?
The victim here, Your Honor. The victim is here.
Oh, okay.
Why can't? She wants contact.
Hey, be quiet.
This is on Mr. Byers?
No,
Not Byers, Your Honor.
Okay,
Be quiet.
I'll hear from the victim.
Back up. There you go.
Yeah. The criminal mischief, probably. Good afternoon. Could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Lilibeth Martinez, but it's for Sean Gardner.
Oh, the next person.
Okay, so this is not the right case. I'm
Right.
doing Matthew Byers right now.
Byers.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in 20 CF 5391, Mr. Byers is not to return to the scene or have contact with the victim, possess any weapons or firearms. Bond is going to be set at $1,000. I'm going to revoke the bond in 20 CF 2933. That will be set at none. And then 20 196, he was arrested for resisting officer without violence. There's probable cause for that. The public defender is appointed and bond is $100. All right, Mr. Gardner, thank you for your patience.
No problem.
You are here in 20 CF 5389. You were arrested for aggravated stalking, dating violence. I understand that there is a witness present.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, are you Lily Beth Martinez Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, could you please raise your right hand to be sworn in?
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, help you God?
Yes.
All right, Miss Martinez Gonzalez, what would you like to tell the court?
I want contact with Mr. Gardner. He hasn't touched me or anything like that. He was drinking. He has a drinking problem. And I really want to be able to get him some kind of help. I'm looking into rehab programs outside. Like today, I even looked at some. My goal is to make sure that he gets the best possible help so he can be the best person that he can be.
Okay. You don't live together, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any children together?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, if Your Honor is going to give contact,
yes.
As for no alcohol, no drugs, looks like this defendant pled. He has a 2019 DV bat with his father, and then a violation of pretrial release conditions in 2020 against his father. So we would just ask no drugs and no alcohol. Different victim, obviously, but he seems to have a violent history.
Okay.
Recent history.
All right, Mr. Garner, I am going to allow no hostile contact between you and Ms. Martinez Gonzalez. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate
All right, you are not to possess or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a valid prescription. Okay. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to set bond at $500. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Well, Courtney, did he qualify for pretrial?
He was not interviewed due to his housing.
Okay.
Not you. Not you. Be quiet.
All right, thank you. Tell me your name, sir.
Glenn David Wells, second.
All right, this is 20 3208. You were arrested for battery domestic violence.
Yeah.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there a witness present for Mr. Wells?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, you are not to have any contact with the victim. You are to maintain a separate residence. You are not to possess any weapons or firearms, sir. You may have a one-time return with law enforcement to get any of your belongings.
Thing.
Excuse me?
Am I allowed PTR today?
You did not qualify for pretrial release, sir.
Why?
Your bond is set at $500. They were unable to verify your community ties, sir.
So
thank you. Good afternoon, your name?
Michael Adam Davis.
Tell me that again.
Michael Adam Davis, ma'am.
If you're looking for Anderson, Your Honor, he bonded. I'm sorry, medical.
Mr. Anderson's medical?
Yes.
All right. Miss Fowler, do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint your office then. That's 18 CF 5275. He violated his probation. Bond is set at none.
That's on both VOPs, Your Honor?
Yes. All right, sir, I'm sorry. Tell me your name again.
Michael Adam Davis, ma'am.
Mr. Davis, at this time, per Judge Rexeidler in Seminole County, your bond is to remain at none. I will appoint the Orange County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and they can assist you in coordinating your case in Seminole County.
Excuse me, ma'am. My bond is to remain at none in Seminole County. I've been here for 10 months. That's a, like, almost misdemeanor charge over there. That's a simple possession charge, and I have a private attorney on that charge.
This is Seminole County case number 19 CF 976. So that doesn't indicate to me that it is a misdemeanor.
So what is, that's the loitering and prowling and possession of methamphetamine?
Just 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Mr. Davis, it was a failure to appear on the possession of methamphetamine and resisting officer without violence.
Yes, ma'am. I have 11 months on that charge. What sparked this this hearing? Because I had a bond hearing put in for the case I have in Orange County.
Right, so because this is this is a Seminole County case, they're not transporting the inmates between the jails right now.
Okay.
So normally you'd be picked up and taken to Seminole County, but because of the COVID virus, you're not being picked up. So the purpose of the hearing is to appoint a lawyer here in Orange County who can help coordinate with Seminole County on this case, given the fact that they're not transporting the inmates.
Okay, that's fine. All right,
Okay, thank you, sir. Let's see. Good afternoon, your name?
Scott Michael Rigsby Jr.
Did you say Rigsby? Did you say Mr. Rigsby?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Again, at this time, sir, until transport is resumed, your bond is to remain at none. Per Judge Perkins in Volusia County, I will appoint the public defender here in Orange County to represent you, to assist you in coordinating your case in Volusia County.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next on the list is Sandra Robinson, medical.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office here in Orange County to represent Ms. Robinson. Her bond is to remain at none until transport resumes per Judge Perkins. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Devontae Lamar White.
Mr. White, at this time, your bond is to remain at none per Judge Rexeidler in Seminole County. I'm going to appoint the public defender here in Orange County to assist you with your case so that they can coordinate with your lawyer in Seminole County.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. And then Miss Ruiz. Did she bond?
Jamie Ruiz?
Yes. Bonded. Okay, good. All right. And then just want to let me know when you're ready.
1 second, Joe.
No problem.
Save is ready, Your Honor.
You are ready?
Yes.